for stopping by to our new Scrap the Sketch challenge with Susanne and myself. And this time we are using this sketch from Scrap Sketches and our December kit from Hip Kit Club. I had 3 pictures printed, and in the beginning I'm just going through my papers, checking which paper could work and also which picture I really would like to scrap today. So in the end I'm going with this picture here, and it's a picture I took on a hiking trip in the end of December. And this picture is not easy to handle, for me at least, because it has these really light parts on the top with the clouds and the sky, and then it gets really dark. And I chose these 4 cardstocks to mimic the feeling of the photograph. So the dark paper is this one here, is from the Hip Kit Club kit. It's always difficult for me to say so. This blue is from my stash, and it's from a German company. It's a very smooth cardstock. And then the cream white is also from the same company, and then the light blue, it's from American Crafts. And I believe the graphite, which was in the December kit, it's from Bessel, I believe. I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think so. So what I'm doing first, I'm cutting off a little bit on 2 sides of each paper, but not from the dark one. The dark one stays 12 by 12, and every other paper gets cut a little bit. And as more it comes to the top of my layout, it gets wider. So you can see here I have the cut-offs, and this is how it looks like. So this I just did to mimic the photograph, and now I'm going to see how to embellish my layout and which layers I want to use behind the picture. So I'm checking sometimes with the sketch on my phone, and in the kit there were also these sequences, and the sketch called for lots of stars around the photograph. And I don't have as many stars, and I don't want to cut any, so I thought maybe I can use this sequence instead. And the sequence mix had a nice red one, a weird dark orange, some silver, a dark gold, light blue, bit a green, and another blue. So, and yeah, I'm thinking, should I include a red or not? But since the picture is quite dark but also bright, I decided to make it a cold layout, I would say. So just using colder colors like blue and black. Since my cardstock around my cream white cardstock is also bluish color and a dark color, a black, almost black color. So I'm going with these trees, and I'm choosing 2. One is from the ephemera pack and one is from the chipboard. The chipboard piece. And below the picture there were 3 of these scalloped strips, but I don't have any punch, and so I thought I can use the fabric, or not the fabric, the brand strips. But none of the brand strips really fit except for one, and so I decided to make my own scallop strips. And I had an older paper which I cut previously, a year ago or even longer ago, but I remember that I had this strip, this one, the green one here. So I take it as my like as a stencil or something I can trace. So I just take my pencil and trace around part of the strip, because I thought I only need a little piece. So I trace this scallopy strip on 3 papers, and then I cut them. So I have handmade strips. So yeah, I'm using my heavy duty scissors here because I like it so much, because it's heavy. I could choose a smaller one, but I don't have a good small one, and even if it's a smaller scissors, I always think they are not heavy enough for me to feel that I can cut nicely. So I have no issue with cutting or fuzzy cutting with my huge or with my big scissors. So I like it. And as you can see, I only turn the paper piece, not the scissor itself. Good. And in the meantime, I also took all the two alpha sticker packs from the December kit and designed my title. And now I'm checking where to place everything and how long the strip should be, which kind of goes on the right hand side. Okay, and then I'm trying to make my layers behind the picture, and I'm going with vellum or transparency paper, as we called it. It's cheaper than vellum, and I can get it in the normal store here, but it's basically it's the same, so it's not a big difference, I believe. It has the same effect. Good. And I'm deciding to have 2 layers, and I believe the sketch also had 2 or 3 layers behind the photograph. So I just decided to overlap them almost, so not that they are at different places behind the picture, just they are just directly behind each other. And then I use some double-sided tape to stick my photo on the first layer. And because it happens quite often to me that if I cut this, since I only want to have a really small layer behind my picture, so that I don't see, that I only see a little bit, I always or almost always tend to cut it too small. So what I did is that I placed my picture on the transparency paper and then cut it, and then I placed another on behind it, and now I'm using foam tape just to give it some height or some texture on my layout. This is probably 90% of the time I use foam tape to raise my picture from the background. And now I'm making marks, and this is because I have the title to the right hand side, and if my picture comes too much to the right hand side, I would have squeezed my title, and I want to prevent this, so I made some marks on my layout to have it on the right place, and then the title will fit nicely, everything would be fine. Now I'm adhering these trees. One is the chipboard and one is the like a paper version from the ephemera pack, and yeah, I just glue them down. And for the chipboard piece, and since my picture has also foam tape behind it, I'm using some foam dots to make it even on my layout. So I only place them on one side of the tree, but not on the other side, since on the other side there is the picture, and this is already raised up. Okay. And now I can go and place the strips and the title. And since I like this part of the layout or of the sketch and the placement, I really kind of want to go with the same placement. And I'm checking the sketch, and then after I have placed everything nicely, I take my mobile phone and take a picture. So this is what I also do sometimes. If I really like the placement on my layout, but I know if I remove it to adhere them, the pieces, I will lose the placement, or I don't really know where it exactly was before. So I take a picture, and then I'm almost safe. Yeah, I went also with both alpha stickers types. It's wrong here what I'm spelling out, but in the end it will be right. So now I take my mobile phone and take the picture. This is a good way of memorizing where things were on the layout. and I don't have to worry too much. Do I put it on the right place again? And you will see almost that, or kind of, that I'm referring to my picture on my phone. And the good thing now here, and the good thing, I mean, I can delete it from my phone afterwards, so no harm done. I'm using liquid glue because it gives me some time to play around with the placement. This is always helpful. Yeah. It's actually, I like the layout. I wasn't very convinced in the beginning, but as with the time I like it. So, and you can see all the sequence on this on my layout here, but in the end there will be basically nothing left. There will be some, but not much. So now I'm gluing down my title. Now it's spelled correctly, and this label comes from the November kit. I like these labels, and I used a lot already, and almost on every layout I'm doing at the moment I use one of the labels, at least for my date. So this little bird comes from the ephemera pack, and it has a white border around, and I don't like it because the trees have no white border. So what I decided to do is cutting it off. And again, you see, I turn the paper piece, but not much the scissors. So this is always the way you have to do it when you fuzzy cut. Move the paper, not the scissor. So the scissor is only going like open up. Yep. Good. Take some time to fuzzy cut this, but then it will end up on my layout. And it takes some time because I have to be careful with the big scissor. So first I was thinking putting it there, but it was too, the space between was not big enough. And now I'm stamping my date with my date stamp, of course. And what I always do is stamping it 1 or 2 times on a piece of paper before I stamp it on the label. So yeah, it will be there and up there, and the bird will end up there. So, and now I'm playing around with the sequence, and it took me some time, I have to tell you. But ta-da! I chose to place only 3 sequences on each of the in each of the 3 clusters, you can say. I don't know, I didn't feel like it was right having too many sequence pieces on my layout. I felt better with the choice of just having 3 in each cluster. And this is what you have to do. I mean, this is just a sketch. You don't have to follow the sketch exactly. It's just an inspiration, how it could be, but you can make your own. Make your own layout. That's what it is, what the sketch is for. You can really stay true to the sketch, but you don't have to. So, and now I'm almost done with my layout. I'm adhering the last pieces of the sequence, and then I decided to place my journaling below the picture. And what I'm always doing, I take my ruler. It's this T ruler, it's very helpful, but it's also nice just putting it this, and then I make some lines, and then I take a piece of paper, write my journal, and then I use a pencil to write my journaling on my layout, and then I just use a marker, and then I erase all the pencil marks. So that's it. Nothing more is left to do, and I hope you like our Scrap the Sketch challenge this time, and check out Susanne's layout, what she did. I will refer to everything in the description box below, and see you soon. Bye bye.